Hi guys, Juice here. I am here to film a new video for you guys today. Today I am going to be filming my July TBR slash new releases, or also known as to be read. I don't have to read all of these in the month of July because it's really like a whole lot. It's like kind of intimidating. But this stack right here, I kind of want to prioritize more than my other reads, just because these are the 10 books that I got picked out of my July, or not my July TBR. These are the 10 books I got picked out of my TBR jar. Wow, I can't talk today. So I will be going over those towards the end, and then from here till this little stack right here are just random books that I picked from my shelf, and I rearranged my bookshelf again. We put them in authors' last names, so all my new books can fit on my shelf now. There was a lot to reorganize, so I'm gonna start with my July new releases. I keep wanting to say June, but it's not June anymore. I want to go over my July new releases. I printed out a list of July through September just to help me out in my videos and to also give you guys summaries for them. 3 of them I won't mention because I have physical copies of, because they came out on Tuesday this past week. So the first new release I want to talk about is Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahern. This is the 3rd and final installment of the Serpent and Dove trilogy. First book is Serpent and Dove, second is Blood and Honey, which I love both of them. I gave them both 5 stars. And this is going to be the Queer Reads book club pick for the month of September, I believe, because we changed a lot of things for the book club. And if you don't know what Queer Reads is, it's a book club I am co-hosting with my friend Charlie. I'll leave her Instagram account down below, and also our book club Instagram account down below. And you're welcome to join us at any month, anytime, and we can't wait to keep running it. We love it. It makes us both smile, and I actually have 2 of the Queer Reads book pick in here as well. The next new release I have is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. This is a adult mystery thriller. It says Teddy Crutcher, I think that's how you say his name, I'm so sorry, has won Teacher of the Year at the esteemed Belmore Academy, home to the best and brightest. He says his wife couldn't be more proud, though no one has seen her in a while. That was the first synopsis on Goodreads. It sounds amazing. I'm already on hold for this one at my public library, so once I get it, I'm reading it immediately, because I read My Lovely Wife and He Started It by this author, and I love both of them, so I can't wait for a 3rd book. Then we have The Taking of Jake Levinson by Douglas Ryan, right? Ryan Douglas, sorry. This is a book coming from Penguin Teen, and this sounds amazing. It's a YA mystery thriller, and I need more of those in my life. It says Jake Levinson is the only black kid at St. Clair Prep, one of the other being his infinitely more popular older brother, and it's hard enough fitting in, but it makes matters worse and definitely more complicated. Jake can see the dead. So it sounds super amazing. Definitely has some ghost vibes in it, and this cover is gorgeous. I wish I can show covers right now, but I can't. On July 6th, which was this past Tuesday, I actually am getting my copy of this today, so I kind of should have waited till today. But Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian comes out today, or on Tuesday this past week, and this sounds so good. It says, a new adult fantasy novel that is from the author of Ash Princess trilogy. It was also a book of the month pick for June. Everyone knows the legend of Arthur, destined to be a king of the beautiful Guinevere, who will betray him with his most loyal knight, Lancelot. Of the bitter sorcerers, Morgana, who will turn against them, but Eileen alone carries the burden of knowing what is to come. For Eileen of Shalott is cursed to see the future. Sounds amazing, right? Sorry if I butcher any of these names, especially with all of these fantasy books. It's kind of hard to learn how to say their names. Next new release comes out on July 13th, and that is Flashfire by TJ Klune. This one I am super excited for this month. I know I keep saying that with all of them, but this is the sequel to The Extraordinaries, which I read in December. I picked it up on a whim. I didn't know anything about TJ Klune. I actually read this book before The House in the Cerulean Sea, and I loved it. And then I read The House in the Cerulean Sea after that, and I loved it even more. So I love TJ Klune. I will read anything he writes. I'm on hold for this at my library as well. Sorry, this is kind of not really a good start, but July 27th is They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. This synopsis from Goodreads: from the rising star Jessica Goodman, author of They Wish They Were Us, comes a new fast-paced thriller about two sisters vying for the top spot of the cross-country team. The only way out of their stifling small town, but their dreams are suddenly thrown into peril when a new girl threatens to take everything they worked for until she disappears. Another YA mystery thriller that sounds amazing. Then on July 13th as well, we have Wings of Shadows by Nikki Puretta. This is the third and final book in the Crown of Feathers trilogy. I am sad to say goodbye to this series because I didn't really love book 1, but book 2 made me love the whole trilogy in all. So I'm really excited and nervous for book 3 just to see how it all wraps up. I won't be giving a synopsis for that, but I am just looking forward to it. I'm getting a copy from Owl Crate, so hopefully it comes soon. Then on July 13th as well, we have a new anthology coming out called Up All Night. It's 13 stories between sunset and sunrise edited by Laura Silverman. Super excited for that. I read You Are Not Perfect or something like that. Whatever her last contemporary book was, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to read more from her. On July 6th, we have The Queen Will Betray You by Sarah Henning, the sequel/finale to this duology. I loved the first book. I have an arc of the second, and I started reading the arc, but I didn't finish it in time, so hopefully now that I have the audio, hopefully it would help me get through it. Also, July 6th, which I actually already have, we have The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. I believe that's how you say his name. Look at this beautiful Star Wars cover. This book I thought comes out in July, but it was already on the shelf by the time I went to Target this past week. And this is an exclusive cover, and it has an exclusive poster on it too. So I cannot wait to read this. This is also the first book on my ambitious TBR. So my friend Charlie, she said it's sci-fi month for July. So I was like, okay, I have a few sci-fi on my TBR. So I have this one. And then a few other sci-fi from the same series is Star Wars: The High Republic Into the Dark by Claudia Gray. I need to read The Rising Storm Force before reading this, I think. And then I have Star Wars: The High Republic, A Test of Courage by Justine Ireland. This is definitely a smaller book than I was looking forward to. And then yes, I got these all at Target. So excited. I can't wait to read these, and I just hear nothing but amazing things about these from BookTube in general. So let me know what the order of these to read them in, and I'll try and read them in a reading vlog. Because I read book 1 in that series and I was sadly disappointed by it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but hopefully those ones are better. Then a few books I started reading in the month of June and carry over in July was Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. I started this for Romance-a-thon at the very end of June it was, or middle of June, and I just couldn't finish it. I do not know why. I think it's like too much for me, if you know what I mean. But like I have that much left of the book, so yeah, you can't even see the cover because of my ring light. But this is a sequel to Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which I read and I give it 3 stars, so maybe that's why I'm just like, it was okay. And I wanted to read the sequel to see if it was better, but I'm still like, meh, it's a 3 stars, so Sorry. And then my Queer Reads book club pick for the month of June was Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This is Aiden Thomas' first book, and I don't know, I just can't get into this one either. I was really enjoying it, and then I got distracted with other reads. I literally got 60 pages into it, so I might try physically reading this and see how it goes from there. But I definitely want to read this in the month of July, just because it is for my book club, and I'm trying to catch up on my book club. I just read Chain of Iron for my book club, and wow, what a great book. So maybe that's why I'm not into this one that much, because I read an amazing book right before this one, and this is also a fantasy book. So yeah, I'll try and read this one throughout the month of July, but we'll see how it goes. And then today is the last day of Summer Readathon, which I mentioned on my channel. I read 2 out of the 6 books that I have, and I'm halfway through a third, and that is Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. I'm currently reading this and loving this one. I can't wait to finish this one later today and see what I think of it. I have no plans today except I have work later, but other than that, no plans at all. So I'm gonna come home from work and read the last of this little book. This is a middle grade novel. It's the 3rd and final book in the City of Ghosts trilogy, and I'm kind of sad that this is the final one because I love the first 2. The second one is my favorite out of the 2, and maybe this one might be my new favorite because I'm also loving the audiobook for this. So I'm listening to the audio via Scrib right now, so hopefully I can finish this in the next few hours. And now going on to the 10 books that my TBR jar picked. The first one we have is actually really cool that it picked. It's an arc that I need to read, but it doesn't come out till November, and that is Within These Wicked Walls by Laura Blackwood. This one sounds so amazing. This is Kirsten White's meet Tomi Adeyemi in the Ethiopian-inspired debut fantasy retelling of Jane Eyre. What more do I need? We love a good retelling, and we love a debut novel as well. And thank you, Wednesday Books, for sending this to me. I'm so excited, and hopefully I can get a review out before November 3rd, I think it was. I don't know the exact date of this, but I'll leave it down below if I remember. But Within These Wicked Walls was the first book that got picked out of my TBR jar. Another book that was picked out of my TBR jar was a library book, and that is Into the Crooked Kingdom by Alexandra Christio. You can't even see this cover either because I'm not even like this is a first book in a trilogy, duology, I'm not sure, but these covers are gorgeous. Book 2's cover is like really gorgeous. I really don't know much about this one. All I know is I read To Kill a Kingdom by this author, right? To Kill a Kingdom. Yeah, To Kill a Kingdom, and that was a Little Mermaid retelling. So I don't know what this one is about, but I'm wanted to read it because it's by the same author who wrote To Kill a Kingdom, and I love that one. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm going into this one completely blind. Next is a book that is a brand new book on my shelf, which is so weird that my TBR jar picked it, but that is May the Best Man Wins by S.R. Ellery. This is a book about sports, and I'm not a huge sports person. This follows our main character, what's his name, Jeremy, and he is queer, and he's out and proud to his school and his team, but his coach is still not feeling okay with how he came out and won't let him play on the team. So something to do with that. I honestly don't know much about this one. I just saw the cover, it looked cute. This is honestly just a cover buy for me. I got this at Barnes & Noble last month, and I featured this in my June book haul, which I'll leave up above or down below if you haven't checked it out yet. But this was one of the many books I bought in June. So I'm really excited. This one came out in May, which I think is funny because the titles start with May the Best Man Wins. I don't know if the author did that on purpose, but can't wait to read this. It's a debut novel by this author, so super excited for that. The next book from my TBR jar is Internment by Samira Ahmed. I kind of forgot I had this book, to be honest. I believe my friend, or my ex-friend Cindy, sent me this book as a birthday gift last year, and I just never got around to reading it. Well, actually, that's a lie. I have my bookmark in here. How far did I got? 35 pages into it before I put it down. Do I remember what I read? No. So I might try and restart this one and see if I will like it. If not, I'm gonna sadly unhaul it. But this has something to do with the internment camps and rebellions and all that. That's all I know, and it's a YA contemporary, so we love that. Another adult contemporary book I have is One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This was actually pretty good that I was picked out of my TBR jar, because this was already on my TBR for the month of July, because the buzzword for the month of July is the word last. So I was like, one last stop, and I have a couple other titles with last in it, which I'll be going over in a few minutes. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the whole year. My friend Lori already read this, and she was sadly disappointed by it. So I hope I'm not. And yeah, this is a female-female relationship story, and it has something to do with time traveling as well. Don't know what time traveling has to do with it, but it sounds really interesting, and I can't wait to read it. The next book is the first book in a series, and I believe the series is now completed, and that is The Queen's Assassins by Melissa De La Cruz. As you can tell, I got this at Target. I bought this at Target, and I read the first chapter of this and the back of this book, and it just sounds so amazing. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna read this one day. Never read it, and then I just had it sitting on my shelf. Still haven't read it, so maybe since this got picked out of my TBR jar, I can probably read it this month. We'll see. But yeah, know nothing about this except it's a fantasy and it's the first book in a series, so there's that. The next book I have is a sequel/finale in a duology, and that is Namesake by Adrienne Young. I was really excited when my TBR picked this one out because I read Fable by this author last year, and Fable is the first book in this duology. I read Fable last year and I really enjoyed it. I gave it like 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I'm so excited to see how this one continues/ends, and to see how she would wrap up the series since it's only a duology. This has female pirates in here and female badass characters, which I love. And the chapters in here are super short too, which is also a plus. So yeah, I won't be saying much about this one since this is a sequel. I think this is like the only sequel that my TBR picked, now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, this is like the only sequel my TBR jar picked for me, so thank you, TBR jar. The next book, I am super intimidated by this. It's a big book. It's 1,000 pages, I think, and my TBR jar decided to pick Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, or also known as House of Salt and Sorrow. I started reading this last year in the fall just to see if I would like it, and I really was enjoying it. I was on page 70. I read 70 pages of it. Do I remember what happened in here? No. But there's no explanation for this one. It's Sarah J. Maas. It's a thick fantasy. First book in a new series, and spoiler alert, book 2 is going to be one of the Crew Reads book club pick for the month for later on in 2022. So we're so excited. So I definitely might be reading this one in July. If not, I'm okay, because like it's 1,000 pages, so yikes. Then I have the final 2 books I got from my TBR jar was What's Not to Love by Emily Webley and Asta Sigma Broca. This will be my second book by this author duo. I read Time of Our Lives last year and I really enjoyed it. It was like at 3 or 4 stars. And I started reading the arc of this one as well, and I don't know why I cannot finish my arcs, so maybe that's why I buy them as finished copies. But yeah, this is a YA contemporary. It has something to do with Shakespeare reimagining or retelling, I'm not sure, but I know they love to include some sort of Shakespeare in their stories. And then this book, I don't know if I should put on my TBR, because I read this one last year or a few years ago, and I sadly didn't enjoy it, but I was on my TBR jar just because that's what I usually do whenever I get new books, and that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I might read The Bride Test by her, which is the sequel to this, and I might read that one instead, because I did read this last year and I still remember most of what happened in here. So this is a contemporary trilogy. And the first book is The Kiss Quotient, obviously. The second is The Pride Test. And the third one is The Heart Principle. The third one doesn't come out till the end of August, so I might wait on that and see if I can binge read 1 and 2 in August and then just wait for book 3. I hear, rumor has it, book 3 might be a book of the month pick, so there's that. So should I leave this on my TBR since I read it already, or should I just go ahead and reread it since it's so short? Let me know down below. And then I mentioned that the buzzword for the month of July is last. So one last stop is on the stack already. And then I have 4 other books that I found on my bookshelf with the word last. So we have Every Last Word by Tamia Ireland Stone. And yes, I got this from Target a while ago. This is a YA contemporary book. Has something to do with someone losing their best friend during high school, and they're just having a hard time getting over them. And it has something to do with OCD on the back, it looks like. And the character keeps second guessing every move, every thought, every word. So it sounds a very dark contemporary, but since it's so short, I picked this off my shelf and I was like, hopefully I can read it soon, so we'll see if I'll read this or not. The next book I hear is a slow fantasy book, which I'm scared to read it now because I don't like slow fantasy. And that is Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. This is the first book in the new trilogy by her. Book 2 and 3 are already out, so this is a completed trilogy, so I can't wait to binge read this. I don't know if I'll binge read this trilogy this month or just read the first book and see how I like it, but I do have the audiobook for this from Audible, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how I would like this. But yeah, I've just been hearing not a lot of things about this one because it's kind of underrated now. But when this book first came out, I've been hearing a lot of hype for it. The next book I was super excited that I got in June, and I kind of forgot that this word had the word last in the title, and that is The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim. This is book 1 in a new Rick Ryan and Presents middle grade, and this has a fantastic cast of characters. I think this has something to do with clans, and Riley O is our ordinary 12-year-old girl who gets adopted from this family, and she looks nothing like her adoptive family, so she's like very nervous and curious of why she's not like how they look. And then she finds out that she's part Greek, I think, or Korean, like I don't know what the mythology for this, but she has some sort of like mythology aspect in her, like every other book does. This is the first book in a new series. I'm not sure how long this series is going to be, but I'm real excited to read it. It just sounds so amazing, and this cover is gorgeous. And then the other book I have for the buzzword is The Last True Poet of the Series by Julia Drake. I heard nothing about this book for quite a while until I saw that Julie and Chelsea from Pages and Pen and Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reed talk about this book and raved about it. Apparently it's a very dark contemporary novel, so there's a lot of trigger warnings for this, but I found this on the shelf at my library and I was very excited for it because I was like, oh, I can use this for buzzword. So I literally know nothing about it except what people have been saying about it, which is weird. But I want to read this for buzzword, and I know Kayla from Books and Lala mentioned this in her buzzword announcement video, which I'll leave up above as well. So super excited to read this, and if I don't get to this one in the month, that's okay. I can just always return my library book. Then I have a few buddy reads that I'm doing this month. I have 3 of them to be exact. So the first one is the July pick for the Queer Reads Book Club, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I'm very excited for this and very nervous for this one. This is the first book in a sci-fi series. This has 6 books in it. Book 6 won't come out till this year or next year. Most likely next year, since I never saw any announcement before this. But yeah, if you want to, you can read book 1, or you can read 1 through 5 like Charlie is, which she's super she's like more ambitious than I am. I'm gonna read book 1 and see how I feel about this. I know this is the Hunger Games meet Divergent or something like that. Hunger Games, Divergent, Game of Thrones. If you like any of those, you will like this. And it's sci-fi in space. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. But I've been hearing nothing but amazing things about this series in general on BookTube. It's one of the older books on BookTube, so I'm really happy to have it in my hand. And maybe I'll like this one, maybe I won't. I definitely want to do a reading vlog just to see what I would think of this book. So really excited, really nervous for this one. So hopefully I'll like it enough to continue on with the rest of the series. The next buddy read I have, I was actually supposed to read it in the first week of July, but I just haven't got around to it yet. But that is The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, I believe. This is the May Owl Crate book, and this cover is just gorgeous. I love it. I am buddy reading this with my friend Lori, Heather, Libby, Mandy, and I believe someone else. I'll leave them down below. They all have Instagram accounts. They're so amazing. Go check them out. I'll leave them down below. But almost everyone has finished this already except me and Lori, I think. So I can't wait to read this. I have the audiobook for this from my Hoopla, so hopefully I can fly through it. And they said it's pretty interesting, so I'm curious what that means. Another buddy read I'm doing is with my friend Heather and my friend Taylor. We are going to try and buddy read Take Me Home Tonight by Morgan Matson. I'm really excited for this as well. This is the newest Morgan Matson book. I read all of her books except 3, this one and 2 others, so maybe I'll read those 2 before reading this one. But I can't wait. This is set in New York City, and it says 2 girls, 1 night, 0 phones. Kate and Stevie, best friends, theater kids, polar opposite, have snuck away from the suburbs to spend a night in New York City. They have it all planned out. They'll see a play, eat at the city's hottest restaurant, and have the best night ever. What could go wrong? Sounds really good. I definitely know me and my friend Taylor love Morgan Matson. I just don't know how Heather feels about Morgan Matson books, but I can't wait to read this. We already have a page breakdown, so I believe we're starting this next week. So next week I will be reading this, and I will be doing some sort of reading vlog for that. And then the next couple of books are just books that I got from my shelf. I was like, I don't have to read all of these because it's already a long list, and this video is already like 30 minutes long. I'm so sorry. But I definitely want to read The Firekeeper by J.C. Cavents this month. This is one of the only 2 books on my 5-star prediction list left. Then I definitely want to read Unravel the Dusk because I got, spoiler alert, I got Elizabeth Lim's new book in the mail this week, so I definitely want to wrap up this series. The other book that's left on my 5-star prediction list is Nevernight by Jade Kristoff. And then these 2 book of the month picks are from my June selection, and that is Malibu Rising and Instructions for Dancing. I want to try and read these sometimes this summer because I feel like they're perfect summer read. And I hear mixed reviews about both of these books, to be honest. So I just really am curious of how I would feel. I love both of these ladies. This is by Nicola Yoon, and this is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Both pretty covers, and I can't wait to read them. I don't have to read them in the month of July. These are just maybe books. And then the 3 new releases that I mentioned earlier in the video, I have in my hands. So we have Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. This one came out on July 6th. Then we have Anyway the Wind Blows by Ray Morale, the 3rd and final book in the Simon Snow trilogy. Look how thick this is. It's so much bigger than book 1 and 2, and I'm kind of nervous for that, but really excited and can't wait to see how this trilogy wraps up. And then the final book we have is 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. The reason why I have Unravel the Dusk on here is because I believe this book is set in the same world as Spin the Dawn and Unravel the Dusk. So I want to try and read Unravel the Dusk first and then read this one. So yeah. Those are all the books, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry this is such a longer video than I anticipated. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day or night, and I'll chat with you guys later down in the comments. Please let me know what I should read first, what I should read next. I'm almost finished with Bridger Souls. And let me know if you guys have read Red Rising. Is it good? Is it not good? I'm really nervous and curious of what you guys will think. Thank you guys so much for watching again. And I'll chat with you guys later in the comments. While you guys are down in the comments, please give me a big thumbs up as it helps me out so much. Hit the subscribe button, turn your notification on so you don't miss any new videos from me soon. Stay hydrated, be kind, and I love you guys. Bye.